Please help support the channel by visiting our Amazon store for products like the 5500K ring light, perfect for making YouTube videos. Affiliate link below. Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel, and I'm not gonna lie. This is one of those stories I've been really waiting for. Linda Sarsour, this woman right here on the screen, is an abhorrent human being, a terrible person, a person who should never have been allowed to get to the position of social power or activist power that she finds herself in right now. And the fact that she's being called out for ignoring abuse seems absolutely fitting, given her general personality and overall demeanor. So let's take a look here, shall we? Women's March organizer is accused of covering up sex abuse. Not really the best time to have that accusation laid at your feet, right? If you know what was it what was the woman? Whoever said, I don't know. She had said there's a special place in hell for women who don't help other women, right? We kind of balk at that, but in this context, I absolutely agree. It says here that controversial Muslim activist and Women's March organizer Linda Sarsour bullied an underling to cover up sex abuse allegations in her Brooklyn office. Asmi Fathelbab, and I mispronounced that entirely, so I apologize, said that a man repeatedly rubbed his crotch on her while she worked for the association under Sarsour in 2009. Now, keep in mind, most of what we've been hearing recently is not this blatant kind of sexual assault. It's usually like the, would you like to come to my hotel room and watch me take a shower? Or might I pull out my penis, milady? Mostly that. So this is a little bit different. This is direct erect contact, essentially, right? So when Asmi reported the abuse to Sarsour, self-proclaimed feminist and co-founder of the Women's March organization, she fat-shamed the woman and threatened to blacklist her from political jobs. Asmi says she oversaw an environment unsafe and abusive to women. Women who put Sarsour on a pedestal for women's rights and empowerment deserve to know how she really treats us. And the thing is, though, is most people outside of that echo chamber absolutely can understand how Linda Sarsour is as a person. It's not hard. She advocates for Sharia law, going as far as to say on Twitter, like, oh, yeah, you want to get like a home loan? Yeah, lower rates under Sharia law. I mean, how can you sit there and look, again, I know not every Muslim is bad. Like vast majority, like 99% of them are awesome people just trying to get by in the world. I have no problem with you having your faith. I'm just not a fan of organized religion. Doesn't matter what that religion is. But Sharia law is a very, very, very interesting part of the Muslim faith. And underneath it, it is restrictive, it is oppressive, it is destructive. And this woman, this Women's March organizer, co-founder, advocate for feminism, saying that Islam is the most feminist religion, which is just one of those moments where you want to go, because what? So it makes absolute sense that she would probably operate underneath the guise of having an outward appearance and then the personal state, her personal actions, how she is around other women, because she's in a position of power. So she's going to use that to keep them down, to subjugate them, especially when it comes to being seen as what maybe at most to be an equal alongside her, the other people inside her faith. The Daily Caller spoke on condition of anonymity with another associate of or another association employee and a political operative that worked alongside the organization, and both corroborated Asmi's account of the abuse and Sarsour's intimidation. And if you've ever listened to Sarsour in an interview, she does that like, yo, I'm from Brooklyn, right? She throws out that hardcore New York, Brooklyn mindset. And keep in mind, as I pointed out before, being an advocate for Sharia law while never living actually underneath Sharia law. I think if she actually were to live underneath Sharia law, it would be an eye-opening experience. Like, I kind of want to like create a GoFundMe for Linda Sarsour to go to Saudi Arabia for a while, just to hang out. Like, hey, have you ever been? No? Why don't you go check it out? Research purposes. Get away. Take a vacation. Go to the Middle East. Go back to your roots. Check it out. See how it is. Yeah, see how it is in that environment. Because she would come back going, nope. Or maybe, just maybe, and this is again a criticism kind of levied at most feminists out there. Modern Islam, just Islam in general, really, is very oppressive to women. feminists always clamor on about, women's rights, equal rights, things like that. But when it comes to talking about that part of the world where women are oppressed, stoned to death for looking at another man. I mean, an Indonesian woman who is also Muslim was caned for holding her boyfriend's hand in public. Those kind of situations, they are as silent as the middle of the night. You know what I mean? They're silent on it. They're complicit in that, but yet, right? Anyway, Asmi took a contract gig with the association in 2009 and claimed she was repeatedly accosted by a man who lived in the same Bay Ridge building as the group's office, saying he would pin me against his wall and rub his crotch on me. It was disgusting. You have no idea what it was like to stand up and feel that behind you. I personally don't. Girlfriend, on the other hand, would have a different story. But the point is, Sarsour called her a liar when Asmi reported it and told her something like this doesn't happen to women who look like me. Asmi charged, clarifying on Twitter that the rebuff was a dig at her weight. And it doesn't surprise me that Sarsour would attack someone for their weight. Weight issues on people in general they're an issue. People always say, oh, mundane fat, ha, 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 ha. I'm like, whatever, dude. Do you think I wake up, look in the mirror and go like, damn, my titties are getting bigger? Yeah, no, I'm aware of it. But still, it can have an impact on people. She went on to the president of the Arab Americans Association Board of Directors, Ahmad Jabir, and said that she told her the accused man, Mahad Saif, was incapable of the allegations because he is a God-fearing man who is always at the mosque. And I love that defense, right? It's all like, you go and you're like, hey, man, this dude, Mahad, Mahed or Majed, whatever his name is, like, this guy keeps rubbing his boner against me. Like for some reason, just my butt is like his Viagra just every day. And like, no, he goes to church. He good Muslim. No, he goes to church. Like, need I remind you about people like Jerry Falwell? Or how many insane Christians we come across in this country that are like, the hand of God, the word of God, the will of God compels us all. Seek not sin. Seek not to lay with another man. It is a horrible abomination unto the Lord. And then you find out later on that they're balls deep in a male hooker while high on cocaine or crack or meth or whatever the hell it is. It's not an uncommon thing. So having someone say, oh, he a good boy, he didn't do nothing. No. F that noise. F that noise. I don't want to buy that. I don't buy that ever when it comes from church. Now, furious that Asmi went over her head, Sarsour threatened to have her blacklisted from New York political and activist circles, and that's what Asmi said happened. She told me I'd never work in NYC again as long as she lived. The 37-year-old New York native, Asmi said. She said she kept her word. She had me fired from other jobs when she found out where I worked. She has kept me from obtaining any sort of steady employment for almost a decade. And that is something that I would not underestimate from this particular woman right here. Again, you look at someone like Linda Sarsour, if you watch her interviews, you can see that she exudes this alpha female, super dominant personality, right? And if she is that way when she is trying to project an outward appearance, how bad is it behind closed doors, right? Like, how ultimately bad is it? Because this woman, if anything, unless, she's trying to fight her way through a man's world, if you will, or through an oppressive religion that hates women type world, and as a result of that, she's probably going to take on the characteristics, the mannerisms, and ultimately the protection of those men around her, simply because she's trying to buy herself some sense of security. It makes sense psychologically speaking. She will adopt the personality of those around her as a way to keep herself in that particular position. If anything, Linda Sarsour is nothing more than a token to these people. Like, oh, they allow her to have the authority that she has, but now she's been able to move that away from maybe those particular perspectives, and she's gotten in on the women's march. The women's movement claims to be a feminist, claims that Islam is the most feminist religion out there, when every piece of evidence ever shown, from the Quran to just how people are in Saudi Arabia and other Islam majority countries, we know that to be an abject, utter falsehood. There are many stories I don't cover on this channel that deal with that kind of mentality. And I don't do it mostly because, if anything involving those particular organizations that shall not be named, because YouTube will pick up on it here, will in fact end up hurting my ability to earn a living. So it becomes difficult to talk about these issues. YouTube systematically keeps people from earning a living talking about those things because of that. And I know that's kind of a cop-out. I understand that, but that is just the truth of where it is for me, because I still have to work. I still have to pay bills. So that's a problem. But there are so many cases every single year of this. So many cases of honor killings from Islam. So many cases of these situations that have happened, and never a peep from someone like Linda Sarsour. But when, you know, Ayana Hirsi Ali, who is she from South Sudan, the feminist, she came over here. She's very much been an active feminist, very well respected, very awesome woman, like awesome woman. And Linda Sarsour will go on Twitter and say she's not a real woman. She doesn't deserve her vagina, simply because they had a disagreement about the tenets of Islam. You know, Ayan is very much against it. She doesn't want to be it. She thinks it's a horrible religion. And Linda has been able to hitch her post to it in a way that is not only extremely lucrative for her, probably, but it gives her this power. And you know what they say about power, at least absolute power. It corrupts absolutely. And of course, that summarizes Linda Sarsour to a T. And if you guys like the video, be sure to toss it a thumbs up. If you definitely want to leave a comment, do so below. We're looking forward to reading them. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I post new videos every single day. And if you want to see more from me, you can do so right now.